Welcome to the American English Listening and Comprehension Podcast, the show designed to help you listen better, understand more, and speak with confidence. Every episode, we bring you carefully crafted articles, real-life dialogues, and interactive quizzes, all created to sharpen your American English listening and comprehension skills, one episode at a time. Whether you're a beginner building your foundation or an intermediate learner reaching for fluency, this podcast is your daily practice partner. So get comfortable, press play, and let's learn together. Let's get started. Unit 4 Theme: Justice and Nonviolent Courage. A Dream That Changed America, Martin Luther King Jr. Section 1, Vocabulary. Civil rights. The basic rights that every person in a country has, including equal treatment under the law. Dr. King dedicated his life to the civil rights of African Americans and all people. Nonviolent. Not using physical force or violence, especially as a way of protesting. Dr. King believed that nonviolent protest was the most powerful and moral way to fight injustice. Segregation. The practice of keeping people of different races, religions, or other groups separate from each other. In the American South, segregation kept black and white people separated in schools, restaurants, and public places. Equality. The state of being treated the same as others, with the same rights and opportunities. Dr. King's dream was a society built on true equality for every person, regardless of race. March. A large organized group of people walking together to demonstrate or protest something. The 1963 March on Washington brought over 250,000 people together to demand equal rights. Section 2, Biographical Article. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Champion of Justice. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. He grew up in a loving family led by his father, a Baptist minister. From an early age, King was deeply thoughtful and spiritually motivated. He entered Morehouse College at just 15 years old and went on to earn a doctorate in theology from Boston University. His powerful education prepared him for the historic role he would play. In the 1950s, African Americans in the South lived under a system of legal racial segregation known as Jim Crow. Black people were forced to use separate, inferior schools, restaurants, and public facilities. In 1955, Dr. King became a leader of the Montgomery Bus Boycott, after Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a segregated bus. For 381 days, black residents of Montgomery, Alabama, refused to ride the buses. The boycott succeeded, and the Supreme Court ruled that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. Inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. King championed nonviolent civil disobedience. He believed that peaceful protest, marches, sit-ins, and boycotts was not only morally right but also strategically powerful. His courage was tested many times. His home was bombed, he was arrested dozens of times, and he received countless death threats. But he never responded with violence. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that," he said. In August 1963, King helped organize the March on Washington, where more than 250,000 people gathered peacefully near the Lincoln Memorial. There, King delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, in which he called for an end to racism and described a future where all Americans would be judged, not by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. It is one of the greatest speeches in American history. In 1964, Dr. King received the Nobel Peace Prize, becoming the youngest person ever to receive that honor. A year later, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 became law, protecting the right of Black Americans to vote. On April 4, 1968, Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. He was 39 years old. His dream, however, lived on and continues to inspire people across the world who work for justice, dignity, and equality. Section 3, Article Analysis. 1. Main idea. The article tells the story of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose philosophy of nonviolent protest and powerful moral vision helped dismantle legal racial segregation and permanently changed American society. 2. Key theme: the power of nonviolence. King's commitment to nonviolence was both a moral choice and a strategic one. He believed that peaceful protesters who suffered violence without retaliating would reveal the injustice of the system to the entire country and the world. This approach ultimately proved more powerful than violence. 3. Influence of role models. The article notes that King was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's methods of nonviolent civil disobedience. This shows how great leaders often build on the ideas and examples of others who came before them. 4. Use of rhetorical devices. King's famous quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that," uses metaphor to explain his philosophy. The "I Have a Dream" speech is known for its repetition and powerful imagery, which made it deeply memorable and emotionally moving. 5. Historical impact. The Montgomery Bus Boycott, the March on Washington, and the resulting Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Voting Rights Act of 1965 represent concrete legislative achievements directly connected to King's work. His life shows how one person with moral conviction can change national law. Discussion question: based on this article, what is one quality this person had that you would like to develop in yourself? Explain your answer to a classmate. Section 4, Dialogue. Carmen. Robert, learning about Dr. King's life made me realize how much courage it takes to fight for justice peacefully. Robert. I agree. He was threatened, bombed, and arrested many times, but he never responded with violence. Carmen. His idea of nonviolent protest was inspired by Gandhi. It shows that great leaders are also great learners. Robert. Yes, and his nonviolent methods were very effective. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted over a year and actually worked. Carmen. Can you imagine 381 days of not riding the bus? That required so much commitment from so many people. Robert. And then the March on Washington with 250,000 people. It must have been an extraordinary moment in history. Carmen. His "I have a dream" speech still gives me chills. He described a world of true equality and justice for everyone. Robert. And he was only 39 when he was killed. He accomplished so much in a relatively short life. Carmen. It reminds me that we don't need decades to make a difference. We can start today, wherever we are. Robert. Exactly. Dr. King's life is proof that moral courage and a clear vision can truly change the world. Speaking practice. After practicing the dialogue, discuss this question with your partner. What is one thing from this person's life that surprised you, and why? Section 5. Comprehension Quiz. 1. What was the Montgomery Bus Boycott? A. A march to the White House to demand equal pay. B. A protest in which black residents refused to ride segregated buses for 381 days. C. A speech given by Dr. King about public transportation. D. A law that ended segregation on trains. 2. Who inspired Dr. King's philosophy of nonviolent civil disobedience? A. President Abraham Lincoln. B. Rosa Parks. C. Mahatma Gandhi. D. Frederick Douglass. 3. What did King famously say in his "I Have a Dream" speech about how people should be judged? A. By their wealth and success. B. Not by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. C. By their education and hard work. D. By their actions in times of war. 4. What major award did Dr. King receive in 1964? A. The Presidential Medal of Freedom. B. The Pulitzer Prize. C. The Nobel Peace Prize. D. The Congressional Gold Medal. 5. How old was Dr. King when he was assassinated? A. 33. B. 39. C. 45. D. 52. Answer key. 1. Answer. B. The Montgomery Bus Boycott was a 381-day protest during which black residents of Montgomery, Alabama, refused to ride segregated city buses. 2. Answer. C. The article states that King was inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, who successfully used nonviolent protest in India. 3. Answer. B. In his "I Have a Dream" speech, King called for a future where people would be judged not by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. 4. Answer: C. In 1964, Dr. King received the Nobel Peace Prize, becoming the youngest person ever to receive that honor at the time. 5. Answer: B. Dr. King was assassinated on April 4, 1968, at the age of 39. That's all for today's episode of the American English Listening and Comprehension Podcast. Thank you so much for listening and for making English practice a part of your day. Remember, every minute you spend listening and comprehending brings you one step closer to your fluency goals. Keep practicing, keep listening, and don't give up. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with fellow English learners. Your support helps us reach more people on their language learning journey. New episodes are available regularly, so tune in again soon. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. See you next episode.